Welcome to Uninterrupted. We're on a mission to unlearn and learn about all things fashion, retail, and tech from the best in the industries. Hop on and be part of our journey as we unleash these gems for you. Today, I'm in conversation with Sharnamli Mehra Adhar, the co-founder and creative director of the Pink Post Inc., one of India's most unique and successful curated shopping platforms for young, affordable, and homegrown brands to showcase their products to like-minded buyers. Sharnamli, welcome to Uninterrupted, and it's a pleasure to have you on air.
It's a pleasure to be here, and I'm super excited for this conversation.
Ever since you started, the brand has become synonymous with novel experiences based events where people discover and showcase diverse brands under fashion, luxury, and lifestyle. Tell me more about how you came up with this idea of launching a curated space almost like a decade ago.
Yes, so this actually started 8 years ago, exactly 8 years ago. Me and my partner, Mitali, we both, we were studying in London and we came back. And, we realized there were so many people who were doing really interesting, very talented people around us, but they just didn't have a platform to showcase their products, their brand, just lend their voice to the people who actually wanted to buy it. Because, mall culture is one thing, but there are so many people. I mean, now it's become a revolution, it's become a whole movement. But even at that point, it was just the beginning of this, and we caught on to it, and we said, why don't we get these small homegrown brands together, provide them with a platform and connect them with the shoppers. So of course we started small, but it's been 8 years and here we are. And now I feel it's never been a better time for homegrown brands to come out there and establish themselves, because they are no less than any other international brands in the market, and it's time to support your the brands from your country. So I think it's just an amazing time to be in this business.
Right. Through your journey, like you said, the kind of brands and the pool of brands has also grown immensely. I was just reading through your website, and you work with brands from say like a Christian Dior to like an H&M to say an Amama. What is
Yes.
on your checklist when a brand approaches you to become part of like an edit?
So, the bigger brands, the more international brands, we don't work with them on an exhibition format. That is more for launches, collaborations, events. So that format is a different format where, we just collaborate with them on a different model. But the smaller homegrown brands is what is our essence. These are the brands, who are part of our exhibitions, our events, which have spanned across the decade. And the brands that we like to work with, or we look for, the homegrown smaller brands, what we look for them in is talent, originality, providing the customer something interesting and telling a story, which is most important, because I feel like people are doing such interesting things and there's such an amazing backstory to it. So just having a great story, a great product, a good quality product, and of course Pink Posting has always stood for affordable products. We've always stuck to that we are here to support small businesses who are selling affordable merchandise. And me and Mitali never put a brand out there unless we believe in it and unless we would wear it ourselves and buy it for that price. So there's a lot of research that goes in every brand that is put out there. So a lot of people are like, you don't take us, what's the criteria? So it's just something we've really worked on perfecting over these years. And that's what we look for. These are the qualities we look for.
Amazing. I think that's a lovely approach. The country has also witnessed the inception and growth of a lot of homegrown labels in the last, say, 5, 6 years, and even before that, actually. And I'm sure, you also interact with so many of them on and off edit, like in both the criterias. What is your take on the rise of homegrown labels in the country?
I think honestly, Corona just kind of shook us all, and we realized that you have to look within, and that is something being part of this business, we've been seeing this for 8 years. I know how much talent there is, And suddenly, we have realized that that talent exists around us. We don't have to pay that kind of price for it, and it's right next to us. So there's been an insane amount of growth for homegrown labels. I think people are taking the plunge, because I think this was an awakening this whole time to, if you believe in something, just go for it. So I feel like there's been such a huge rise. It's also been supported by huge voices in the industry, which is great. And of course, social media is a big plays a big part in putting your brand out there. And I think everybody's taking that plunge, and it's just so accessible for everyone to get it. And also, I think the consumers have developed a sense of they want to support their homegrown brands. They believe in them, which is something which wasn't there before, because it was so easy to just buy your H&Ms and Zara's and move on. But I feel like that now bloggers are doing these lists, and so everyone is doing their bit to support it, and I think it's showing.
Right. And would you also have maybe any tips for homegrown labels to market themselves better or tell their stories better?
Yeah, so as I said, if you have a product and you believe in it, just don't overthink it. Get out there and put it out there, because Instagram and social media is such a powerful tool. I would say tell your story, because that's what differentiates you. Tell us your story about your personal lives as well, because that kind of puts you apart from the other brand out there. Why you started, what is so special in your brand, and just go for it. Because when I look back 10 years before, people, the biggest mistake people make is overthink. I would just say go for it. You don't have to make 10-year plans that I'm going to be here in 10 years or 5 years. Take it each day as it comes, and you'll see grow slowly, but just get out there. Because there are platforms, there are tie up with people who could tell your story and put it out there. Don't be afraid and don't be shy. Just go for it, I would say. Collaborate, do whatever you can to put your brand out there.
Fair enough. Coming back to the pink posting in the last, say, 7 to 8 years, over the course of multiple edits, except for the rise of homegrown labels, which we have discussed, what other
Mhm.
trends have you witnessed in the fashion retail space?
So, trends in the fashion space, I would say, is that you need to kind of understand your consumer. There are a billion things going around, so don't be confused in trying to, do everything. So the what I trends, I think there are a lot of niche brands, and they are doing well. So understand your consumer, take risks, and get personal. Build an online community. So I think an online community for a retail brand is very important in today's world. So I think that has really grown. People who didn't take it seriously, I think, are taking it seriously now, because everything is online, and you have to move with the times. You can't be, stuck on one thing and not innovate. So you have to innovate, and I think a lot of brands are doing that, and they've understood that you have to move with the times. So I think those are the trends. Just keep up and online, and these are the main things for me.
Right, okay. I'm going to ask you a slightly tough question now. Uh,
Okay.
what has been your favorite, the pink posting edit till date, and why?
Okay, so this is like choosing between your babies. So for me, honestly, every edit, I mean, that's how I would, that's cliche, but it's so special. The failures are so special. Um, for us, for me, always the special shows used to be the ones where we used to get out of Delhi, because Delhi was our domain, and we kind of always used to kind of do well here. But when we took the risks, and we went all around India, it was just amazing to connect with people all across the country. So the Bangalore shows were actually my favorite, but that was beaten up yesterday, because I was just amazed yesterday. It is something, the world has changed and everything has changed, but yesterday was such an eye opener for all of us to actually witness what I saw, and the way people came, and the smiles on the faces of the brands, because they've had such a tough year, and they couldn't believe it, that people came out, supported them, and braved Corona. And it was just something like, after a break, because we've never had a break in 8 years, this was a break of one whole year. It was just unreal for me to see this yesterday. It was something I'll never forget.
100%. I think, I mean, it was lovely to see that. There were
Yeah,
so
the
many
whole
people, yeah.
vibe, and everybody was just happy to feel little normal, whatever your normal is in today's world. You just felt like, okay, maybe we could find a new way to do this, because there is nothing. The reason, like, we haven't really gone into a website model and an online model is, me and Mitali have always felt that there is nothing like offline personal interaction between two people. And it gets harder, of course, as the world grows, and of course with COVID. But that connection, I saw it yesterday again, and that just made us really happy.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
On similar lines, you've been curating these experiences for a very long time now. So, if anyone's curating an experience, it could be across food, fashion, lifestyle. What are some things that they should always prioritize? And, just some things they should keep in mind to make sure that, the experience is kind of etched in the memory of anyone walking in through the door.
So, my main thing is to make the person who's walking into the door, who's made that effort to get out of their, house and come for you, just make them feel special. Now, what special in our case is giving them the right brands. Your curation of brands has to be just perfect, because nobody wants to come and waste their time and be cheated of that. So, your brand ethos has to be very, very clear as to the person who's coming. They have to be very satisfied with the whole experience. I understand there's a need to kind of record every small thing which is going on and put it out there on social media, but think about what you're putting out there, and devise a strategy and live in the experience, enjoy the experience physically, because I guess we're talking about physical events right now, rather than trying to put everything online at that minute. But my main thing is just understand your consumer, because they are the king in this case. And I know how much it takes to actually get up and attend something. It's a huge effort. And for everybody coming, me and Mitali always stand on the side, and we notice this one thing, that everybody's leaving with something. It doesn't matter, is it big or small, but we always notice, okay, she bought, this, she bought that. So you want your consumer to, not see the whole experience, the event, as a waste. So that's our main aim when we try to do something. So if it's a food or whatever it is, they should go and feel like we haven't been robbed of this whole experience. We got to try. So you offer something innovative and unique at your event.
Right. Okay. So another tangent of the services that you guys offer, I know you also work with brands to generate more photo and video content. So what are your top pieces of advice to brands in the space to produce better content? And are there any brands, maybe Indian, international, any brands where the content really appeals to you or inspires you?
Yeah. So, another thing that has really worked for us as a ping posting as a brand is, of course, our social media presence. And I feel how we reach out to brands and how we help brands reach out to their customers is by you have to tell a story, because there is so much on Instagram. If you're just going to be one of another kind, it's going to fade out. So my advice is tell a unique story. In today's world, I feel there is so much, everyone's a clone of each other. That's why an account you asked me, I would say Masaba. I feel like, you have to kind of show your imperfections, because nobody's perfect and nobody wants to see perfection all day. It gets boring. If you go out and show your struggles, your failures, and your wins, people actually believe in you. If you're always just going to show your wins, it's not interesting. So, as a brand, tell your story, talk about the struggles you're facing, why you're doing this. So it's about really getting personal. Don't just show the good part, I would say. And so that's why I really admire people like Eva Chen. These accounts are really, really interesting to see, because you see the mundane with the glamour. So you have to show all aspects of your business, your life, as much as you're willing to share. That I mean, so whatever you're willing to share, but make it unique. That's my take.
Right. It's so interesting that everyone who's been on the podcast, the one thing that they've always said is make more authentic content and make it more
Yeah,
personal. And I
yeah.
think, I've heard it like
But
so
I
many
have
times.
to
Yeah.
also learn from this because I really shy away from sharing my personal life. And, I can understand it is not easy. And I'm not saying share your children or whatever, but you have to share your opinions and,
We touched upon this very briefly, but with the last year that everyone's had, and most of us were just really in survival mode. I know you also launched a virtual edit. So tell me what all went into it. What were the obstacles? What were the wins? How did you feel about the virtual edit?
so it was a huge task for me to convince my team because we are always about offline, offline, offline. And I was like, no, because there are enough people who would want to come and shop, online. And so we actually did take the plunge. We never so even though we did that, our main the main ethos of ping posting is to never lose the connection physically. So even in that, we had people seeing the product online, but we wanted to talk to them. It wasn't just a website thing that you come, you take three angles of it, and that's it. So even here, it was me on the call, the designer on the call, the people could interact with the designer. So that all was always a part of this edit, which really worked for us because these are our consumers. They want to ask questions. They have a billion questions, and these are people who are not so savvy online. So of course, the young people are great with their Zoom calls and all of that, but we had a lot of elder women also logging in. So it was actually great. It worked really well for us. We did stop it eventually because we were like, now it's time to do a physical event. But that said, it's a great model, and we would definitely take it up again if for some reason we can't do a physical event, because I think it works. We don't work with more than one or two brands at once, so every brand gets their due. They get their time, because in this edit, people, as I told you, ask questions, so we need that kind of time with every brand owner, and they should feel important. So it worked really well for us. I don't have any complaints. We built a community in that as well. So it was good. It was good for us.
Okay, I have another extension of what you just said. How do you think technology is impacting or enhancing the way that people shop and the businesses of retail brands?
You can't deny that it's the need of the hour now. You have to move on with the times. That said, I still feel that the Indian brands have some way to go to gain that trust. I don't know why. Like personally, I don't end up shopping online from so many Indian brands, and maybe it is because I guess the systems have to be more accessible. There has to be easy payment gateways. Returns and exchanges should be, everything needs to be seamless. So I feel like a brand who can perfect that will definitely be ahead of the game. It is the need of the hour, so you need to get on it. You need to get the latest technology. You need to move with the times. But I don't think we're there yet in India, but we will get there. That's what I feel.
Okay, great. This was fabulous. I'm now going to move to the next section of our chat, which is called High Five. It's a rapid fire round. It's just 5 questions and we'll be done.
Okay, great.
Okay. What are your top three go-to clean beauty brands?
Okay, so clean beauty brands for me are obviously, I love Forest Essentials, I love Kama, Homegrown, and smaller brands. I would say there is Ends Closet, who were part of our edit yesterday. They do amazing stuff. There's a brand called Neemly, which does, and also My Glam. I think they're getting into this clean beauty range, and their products are great. So these are my top three, four, five
Okay.
brands.
If you were to give three styling tips that never go wrong, what would they be?
Okay, as cliche, but be comfortable, because if you're not comfortable, it's going to show. So if you can't think of anything, just wear something really simple and just go, because don't overdo your trends. My second thing would be easy styling. You can never go wrong with tone on tone. So when you're confused, or quads, I think these are things which are very easy if you have them in your cupboard. You don't have to think what to wear on top or bottom. So invest in things, which you can pair together, and neutrals. And these are easy styling. You'll always look chic and put together. And my third tip would be to just accessorize. We always kind of forget to accessorize, but a small accessory goes a long way for even talking points when you meet someone. It's if you invest in interesting accessories, I think you'll always stand out.
Okay. What are some online stores or brands that you constantly shop from?
So, as I said, honestly, I don't shop so much, which is really bad, online for Indian brands, because I just don't think they're there yet. I don't feel the whole process to be super seamless. So I'm sure everyone's going to hate me, but I'm a
Mhm.
Zara H&M person who shops online. Of course, I do shop from Revolve and I shop from Net-a-Porter, but that's what I'm trying to say, that these brands have it, they make it very easy for you. So you're not scared to shop. Like Indian brands need to get there. They need to get rid of their 10-day deliveries. 10, dispatch in 10 days. These things all scare the consumer. So if you want to become a full-on online brand, then you need to work on your processes. I do shop like from Ajio. Sometimes they have a lot of Indian brands, but these are bigger corporates. So I guess systems need to be in place for Indian brands.
Fair enough. Okay. What are three things that the world does not know about you?
Okay. I don't know if they don't, because I think everyone knows a lot about me, but it's always a little bit of a shock for people to understand I'm a mother. So yes, I'm a mother to a 4-year-old, and I am expecting my second baby as well. So that's something nobody knows. I'll have 2 babies soon, and my pink posting is my third baby, and yeah, so that's number one. Second, yeah, I was quite the nerd in school. Yeah, I was like a 90 percenter, and I went to DU and I did all of that. So I was quite a teacher's pet, and I was like one of those people who loved to study. So yeah, please don't hate me. And number three, something which people wouldn't know is that this is my actual advice to the younger people out there, that don't take yourself too seriously in your 20s, because I started as a journalist at NDTV, then I went into consulting. I don't know what all I did to finally get to what I wanted to do and understand this is my passion. So when you start working in your 20s, don't take yourself seriously. You will evolve, you will find yourself, you will find your true calling eventually. So don't kill yourself if something doesn't work out at that point, because eventually it will. And that's what I was saying, even for brands, these 10-year plans, God knows what will happen in 10 years. Just start and you'll know which direction you want to kind of go in. So, yeah.
The last question. What are the three international cities that you want to take pink posting to?
So, me and Mitali, we had a lot of plans before Corona to do these things, but we will get there. So, the 3 cities, obviously, we have chosen is because of the Indian population there as well, because they are always looking for Indian homegrown brands, and that would be London, Dubai, and Singapore. These are 3 cities where I know personally, because they have reached out to us, a lot of people from these 3 cities, that why you're not coming and all of that. So, this is in our 5-year plan. So this is what we do plan to get to at some point.
Perfect. Sharnamli, thank you so much for being on Uninterrupted and sharing your story with us and announcing your second baby on the
Yeah.
podcast.
Thank you for having me. It was really nice, and it was really uninterrupted. I think I just said what came to my mind, so it was great. It was a great conversation.
Thank you so much. Good luck for all your edits ever, and I can't wait to see you at the next one.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. For everyone who tuned in today, thank you so much for taking the time out and listening to our conversation. If this conversation struck a chord with you, don't forget to subscribe to our podcast and share this with your friends and family. If you have a take on the topic we discussed, or if you'd like to share some feedback, please feel free to write to me. I'm going to catch you next week with yet another uninterrupted conversation. Have a great evening ahead.